Hello and welcome to the program Issues on ABS Radio and Television. This program provides all the questions, all the answers to all the questions that we may have. And of course, today we shall be talking about managing time effectively. Managing time effectively. Time management is a critical skill for all of us. And when we don't manage our time well, our productivity declines and stress levels rise. I am Eze Onwuji. Welcome. Today we shall be interacting with Mr. Chris Obiora, a legal practitioner and, of course, a public affairs analyst. You're welcome. And we also have Dr. Azubike Davison Nkala, HOD, Head of Department, Mass Communication, Paul University, Oka. Doc, welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Right, we want to look at time management, managing time effectively. In this part of the world, we find it difficult to stick to time, and it has caused a lot of problems. It also causes a lot of problems. And also, there are health benefits and otherwise when we don't keep to time. So, what is time management? What are the benefits of time management? Why do we fail to keep to time? And a lot of questions will be asked, and of course, answers will be provided by our guests, resource persons here. Let me begin with you, Mr. Chris Obiora, public affairs analyst, and of course, a public legal practitioner. Time management. How do we describe or define time management? Let's our viewer and listener understand what it is, and then we go to why we fail to keep to time.
Yes, thank you very much. To me, and of course, what it should be, time management is essential, it's important in all the things you do. It is the fundamental things, issues that you handle first above other things. Take for instance, when one is time constraint, or when time is against you. You want to go to church, you want to go to market, you want to go to bar, you want to go to office. Even your office hours starts 2 o'clock. And then if it is 2 o'clock, it is expected that whoever that comes there by 2 will meet you. And if you give someone an appointment, 2 o'clock, that 2 o'clock ordinarily should be sacrosanct. And then, take for instance, you visit hospital, you have a problem, you go to the hospital. Your question is the doctor there? They will tell you, doctor resumes 8:30. Oh, by 8:35, the doctor is not there. And then again, going to biblical whatever, when Jesse was sent an errand person, messenger, Samuel. When Samuel gets there, Samuel asked Jesse, I need to see your sons. Jesse mentioned this engineer, barrister, and what have you. Samuel insisted that is he all? He said, okay, David. He said, okay, that is the one I'm looking for. He has time on his chest. He manages time very well. As a shepherd keeper, God knows when he will visit David. Because David is always there. He does things with time. He keeps time. He maintains time. And when eventually Samuel got there, David was there. He feeds the shepherd with time. So I don't believe that it doesn't matter time. It doesn't matter time. Like our people used to say, Emengwangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris Obiora, legal practitioner. Thank you. I will come to you later. Okay. Dr. Nkala, why do we fail to keep to time? Why?
Well, you see, time management is a scientific function. That's one. And then two, time management is a function of productivity, both in human and behavioral sciences. You find out that if you look at the scientific management theory, time was prioritized for the purpose of achieving effective productivity. Be it in agriculture, the Bible says there is a time to sow and there is a time for harvest. Then if you come to institutional management, you discover that the productivity of any organization is coterminous to the time allotted to issues and to departments. If you look at the public service and the other institutional managements, you see that today that scientific nature of time has been brought to the fore because we now have what you call clocking. Immediately, because there are two ways of judging time. One is coming in time, which means if the appointment is by 8 o'clock, you have to be there by 8. You come on time. Then if the appointment is by 8 and then you come by 7:30, then you came in time. So you find out that it is always better to come in time, so that when you come in time, you still have other minutes to leverage on the things that will make for your better participation and your better productivity. You see, time management is a very important aspect of human development. But the black man, where we are a group that often, the way we manage time in African environment, which is not the right way, is that if there's a meeting to be held at 8 o'clock, people will be at home by 8 o'clock and will be asking whether the meeting has started, whether other people have come, forgetting the fact that the meeting was scheduled for him to be there in order to make contributions that will make for the overall development of the society. It is time that develops society, and human beings should learn how to manage time. Science and consultants in public and even private services have decided to streamline it in such a way that it becomes relative to your wages and salaries. If you come in, you clock in. Nobody asks you any question. If you clock late, at the end of the month, when the salaries and the wages are to be compiled, you find out that they just go to the clocking section and they collect your card. When they collect your card will show your character. It will show the level of priority you attach to your office. So they just pick it and then look at it, and then they discover immediately your attitude to work. And immediately they discover, if it is a private organization like some of these white organizations and institutions, they just calculate the times you came late and they deduct it from your salary. And once they deduct it, it is also impinging on your own productivity, because it helps them to know whether you are somebody to be retained within the organization. So time management is a very important aspect of human development, and we need to leverage on it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me come to you, Mr. Chris Obiora. As a legal practitioner, just like a journalist, you are supposed to know a little about everything. Any health benefits of time management?
Yes. When you talk of benefits of time management, it's very broad.
Health benefits.
Health benefits is very broad. I take you one. When you want to visit your doctor, you go on time. Your doctor will attend to you early for your health. You want to see your pharmacist, you go early. meet the appointed time, the time which he normally stays in his office to attend to people.
And for your health
And
too.
for your health too.
If somebody
You
is
want
serious
to,
or
you want to go to school, if you're a lecturer, if you're a teacher, whatever, the school starts approximately 8 o'clock. Are you getting me now? And so when you go there, already you've narrowed your mind, the things you do, and you start in time. And the moment you round up, your health becomes yours. It becomes entirely yours. And you want to make a trip, are you getting me now?
Mm.
Of course, you want to take from Aguleri to Lagos, it's 45 minutes. From Enugu to, are you getting me? You calculate time. Enugu has 2 o'clock, Aguleri has 9:30 a.m. You know, to get into Lagos or to get into Abuja, you move in time. It promotes your health. Because when you think you are late, when you get there late, are you getting me now? Your calculations, your normal calculations, will be very fast. Are you getting me? And
the stress level will rise.
The stress level will rise.
Mm.
The level will rise. And when it rises, for those that normally have BP, you call it adrenaline, whatever, all these things
will go up. Thank you. Doc, can we have, do we have some tips for effective time management? Do we have some tips?
Of course, yes. In fact, before I go into the tips for effective time management, let me leverage a little bit on what my colleague said concerning the health issues.
Yes.
Okay? If you get to, that's Obonije,
Yes.
for the hospital sign, onwe ebe a na-akpọ intensive care unit, ICU,
Yes.
all because of priority, all because of time management, ka eji wee create that area. Knowing well the kind of sickness, most especially accidents, ọ ga-abụ idulu onye afọ bịa to the hospital. Fa chekiri ana etu condition ya, fa edulu onye a je to intensive care unit. Or to make sure na enyere onye ahụ nya proper and efficient and surgical treatment immediately.
Prompt attention.
Ka e wee save ndụ ya. Then onwe ndị ọ ga-abụ ọ bụrụ a normal sickness, a refer onye ahụ to the general ward. Ọ ga-abụ onye ahụ luzie ọnọnwa ojiri nwayọ ịmago wee na-receive treatment ya. And bịakwa na area of health, ọ bụrụ na mmadụ a prioritize his time, you find out na the issue of high BP bụ mainly because of the timing, lack of timing. Onye na-ejezi ọ na-agba ọsịsọ, ọ na-asị driver ọ banye motie, move ọsịsọ, gaba ọsịsọ. Why? Because adrenaline dị na obie aligogo and ụfọdụ ọ na-agbago isi. Driver na-abịagodu na checkpoint, ọ na-asị agafe na ya nwere ife ya na achukwu. But ọ bụrụ na ọ prioritize time ya very well, you find out na ọ ga-remove a lot of health hazards. Then we're basing on the issue of tips. Ima, in any organization, and I set what you call management goals, the goals of organization, what the organization wants to achieve.
An individual can also set.
An individual, you set up your own company. You can set priorities. First of all, is planning. And 3 things now work for organization. 1, the human resources. Then 2, the financial resources. Then the 3, the equipment or the instruments. So you find out now all these 3 effective management instruments, you must apply them in a very good order so that your organization can produce
and flow
at a level, and then you make your profit. You see, so the first important thing is setting up the goal. Like the government of Anambra State now, you find out that the government they set goal on security, set a goal on environmental management, and then set a goal on effective productivity. So all these goals need a government to set it. Then in terms of prioritizing it, then it is the time sequence. Like civil servants must come to work at least by 8 o'clock. Because so far now the civil servants now loputa if a government is government. If in road construction, all the engineers now in the Ministry of Works, they design.
The professionals, yes.
Yes, they must design roads, buildings, and other things. And then architects will also design. And then after designing in terms of construction, they will go and manage the organization. That's what you call construction management.
And yeah, which are time
Which are
limit.
time limit. When you mix the concrete, it must not extend so and so number of hours. Otherwise, it will cage. It will cake.
Yes,
so time sequence is involved. And then in your building, the time to put in the blocks and the time to put in the concrete, so that all of them will hold. Okay? So all these things require time sequence. So in governmental circles and industrial areas and even in human organizations like ABS, ABS is an organization that is set on time sequence because the producer must do the program first and then get the reporters to be on the job. And then the presenter must be there by 2:30 or 3:30. Otherwise, people will say that the organization is not working. And then the editorial staff must be there and then do their job. And you find out that when these sequences are in order, then the organization will be producing at maximum capacity.
Thank you.
And efficiency.
I'll come back to you, Barrister Chris Obiora. Kedu ihe a ga-eme African time? Kedu solution African time a onye ọbụla chọrọ ịbịa mgbe onye ọbụla bịasigoro? Kedu solution African time?
Yes. Remind me that your name?
Eze Onwuji.
Eze Onwuji is a very fantastic and interesting question. Ife a ga-eme, ọ dịkwa n'ofele, ọ dị anyị n'arụ, dị anyị n'aka, kedu otu ọ bụ? Maka time ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya. Gịnị bụ time? Ohere, oge, ọkwa oge, we have time, mgbe, oge, and the year, ha ncha ofu ya ji ya. Keeping to time. N'anya, in the hall of learning, enwere ihe a na-akpọ African, this African time. I don't know where that is. Hold on. I don't know where that thing is derived from. I don't know where that thing is. You know.
It's a derogatory thing.
It hasn't gotten biological agreement.
Yes.
With
no management definition.
No management definition.
Mana anyị na-afọ na-eme enwe emume onye ọbụla enwe ya na 11 na na-ebido.
Thank you very much. And that is what we are saying. It is high time we say we don't want African time. Let it go. Let it go.
Kedu onye ga-eme ya? Kedu ebe ọ ga-ebido? Onye debere emume ahụ, onye debere ceremony asị na ọ ga-ebido 11.
Thank you.
Abịa mgbe aha ga-ebido ya so that ndị bịarụnụ ebe 1 na 2 great.
Ka a ga-esi ebido ya bụ otu a kịta now. Take for instance, you invited us here that the program is going to start at 2, and then you will agree with me that Doc was here before 2. In fact, he was here before I came. And both of us arrived here before 2 o'clock. Keeping to time, it has started. So if every other person, when you go back to your house, set a goal. When you go back to your house, set a goal. The government has set goals. Are you getting me now? It is left for us to key in. Key in. Don't say as usual, as usual. As usual cannot take us to anywhere. It is within the thing we decided on our own that we need to be punctual in the office. Hence, Servicom will attack you at the end of the day, at the end of the month. I calculated your time input, the things you understand now. Take for instance, the court starts 9. Then you have a matter. You get up by 2 o'clock. You are going there to meet Dr. Nkala. Is it possible?
It's not.
Will you say that it's government that disturbed you?
No.
Will you say that somebody denied you that right to go there? You did this to yourself. So, ọ ga-afịa arụ ịjụba kedu ihe a ga-eme. Anyị ma ihe a ga-eme.
Barrister,
Yes.
let me leverage a little bit on this, what you said.
Okay.
Because
African time.
African time. You find out that no, anyị nwa bidoro ya. Anyị nwa bụ ndị ga-akwụsị ya.
Yes.
Oge nọ na public service, alụrụ m ọrụ with one of the greatest technocrats si from United Nations wee bịa Anambra State.
Okay.
Ọ bụrụ na o setie a meeting for 10 o'clock. In fact, 3 minutes to 10 o'clock he will be there. And then once is something like 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, he will do the meeting, close the door, and then any person na abịazi after that, be you who, you will not participate in it.
Only 5 minutes grace.
Yes, yes, and even though you can call it African time, but it's a way of sequencing
Yes.
the time limit so that when you are within this, you are off.
Thank you very
Then
much.
ọ bụrụ na ndị be anyị na-eme meeting ụmụnna, ọ bụrụ na anyị si na nọọ elekere iri ka a ga-eji wee mee, because o nwere ife ndị be anyị na-eme, ndị be anyị na-azụkarị afịa n'ụtụtụ. Afịa zụọ afịa 7, 8, 9. Then fa na wee kwado meeting. Ọ bụrụ na ekwuo na that meeting ụmụnna bụ by 10 o'clock. Ọ bụrụ na ị bịara by 10 o'clock, si gbasaa the meeting. Ụmụnna nke a mee ya etu, ụmụnna nke a mee ya, ụmụnna nke a mee ya. Then echi niile itizie meeting ụmụnna by 10.
Thank you very much. Just like I wanted to conclude before he helped me. It's a very big deal for me. That I said, quote me, that we started it and then it is in our hands to also stop it. Take for instance, there's a distribution, government will be distributing bags of rice between the hours of 7 a.m. and then 12 noon. If you don't come within that stipulated time, will you blame Are you getting me now? Yeah, so we started it and we are bound to stop it if we want. It's a matter of want within your. It's a personal decision. Otherwise, you'll be just like he said the other time. If you mixing cement, mixing concrete with the normal aggregates and what have you, if you don't pour in within the stipulated time, it will keg. And when it kegs, it requires additional reinforcement. And that reinforcement, the chances are not 50-50.
Yes, and you lose money.
You lose money.
You lose money and you lose time.
So what am I saying?
So it's a waste.
So what am I saying? We started it. And we can, if we want to say no to it, we say no to it.
Or individually or personally, and we can get enforce or keep it to time management. Who does that?
He has said it all. Sorry, he has said it all. That, for instance, meeting Umunna.
Yes.
Fixed for 10 o'clock. And then, with that 10 o'clock, if you come there by 11, you will not meet anybody.
Yeah.
And then Okeke's family missed by 10. Okonkwo's family missed by 10. Iwuji family missed by 10. If you are going for 12, Okeke family will ask you, where are you going?
Yes.
Iwuji family will ask you, where are you going? Did you get the analysis now?
Yes. And secondly, you see, the church in our generation plays a very important role in shaping the character and the moral code of the society. You see, there were times when there were so many taboos, slavery, osu, and other things. It is the church that decided that it should be stopped.
Yes.
And it was stopped.
Yes.
Because if you are not in Anglican church, you are in Catholic church. If you are not in Catholic church, you are in one organization that preaches moral decency.
Yes.
I tell you one thing, like the issue of this Osu, it was especially the Catholic and the Anglican church that stamped their feet and said it must stop. And then it was stopped. Because these people that are in Anglican and Catholic churches, they are the people in government. They are the people in the House of Assembly. They are the people in the executive arm of the government. The governor goes to church. The deputy governor goes to church. So you find out that immediately the church stamped its feet and said that African time will stop. Imana, we are getting.
Ọ ga-abụ 7 n'ụtụtụ, ebido ya na 7.
Ebido na 7.
Onye na-abịa late.
Exactly. Okay, watch the pastors and the reverend fathers and the reverend in the churches. Once in Anglican church, once is 8 o'clock, the priest begins the service.
Beautiful.
In Catholic church, once is
8:30 Catholic church. 6 a.m. Catholic church.
And once it reaches the time of Mbasa, they will dismiss. So it is up to you then to situate your own within that time limit. So the church as an institution and organization, they play a very important role in time management. So they can help us to stop African time.
We want to go now, but before then, you advise, Dr. Ankala, you advise to everybody.
Well, what I will tell our people is to develop a consciousness of time management. Ị na-eje ife n'oge. Maka ọ bụrụ na ije ife n'oge, iruo a na-eme discussion, relax ya, ụbụrụ adị nkọ iwe kwuo ife ị chọrọ ikwu. Ife ọzọ m na-agwakwa our people bụ ezinụlọ, that's the family system, the schools, the churches, and government should begin to develop a policy of penalizing lateness to every type of organization. Because mgbe itinye these sanctions, because ife ndị be anyị na-anụkarị ọsịsọ na-abụkarị sanction. Maka o ji wee kwuo meeting asị onye abịaghara by 12, then ị na-abịazi na ị ga-akwụ ụgwọ late of 500 naira. Ịbịaghị chacha ịkwụọ 1000 naira. So can I develop onye in our consciousness?
Thank you.
Over time, we will succeed.
Thank you, Doc. Barrister, your advice.
Yes. Ife na-ekwu bụ ka ndị mba anyị nụ ife anyị na-ekwu weli ewe mepụta ezigbo ife. Ka ọ baa anyị na ntị ọfụma, ka anyị weli ewe mepụta ezigbote ihe ga-abara anyị uru. N'ụkpala okpoko kedu otu afọ isi? Ụkpala okpoko gburu ntị mere gịnị
chiri ya?
Ọ maka ndụ gị na ndụ m. Ka anyị fụrịta African time as ịgbakwa Tofia.
Thank you very much. We want to thank you, Mr. Chris Obiora, public affairs analyst and of course legal practitioner, and Dr. Azumike Davis Nkala, head of department of mass communication, Paul University, Oka. I want to thank you very much for coming and of course enlightening us.
Thank you
very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Effective time management increases our focus and improves our productivity. It allows us to spend more time on the projects, goals, and people that matter. I am Eze Onwoji, I student for Dawn Onyenji on the program ACUs. Thank you for staying tuned. I greet you all, the cameramen and everybody that worked towards the success of today's program. See you again. Bye for now.